Hey yo! Welcome back to the Dugout and Beyond. So we got some updates here with baseball, World Series games going on. So if you don't know, the game did get canceled last night. It got postponed to tonight. So it's going to be 3, 4, and 5 for the next 3 days in Philly. And then travel day on Friday, going back to Houston if necessary for all these games. So yeah, they I do approve. I am only about 2 hours away from Philly, so it did rain a lot last night, and if you don't believe it, it did. Yeah, so that game was postponed actually really early, which actually probably helped the teams out a little bit. So the game was supposed to start about 8:03, 8:05, around there. Yeah, so they canceled it probably about almost around 7 o'clock. So it's not like the last game with the Yankees where they waited like 3 hours to like, hey, maybe it's gonna stop and not go. Like it was very weird with how they handled that. It was they were very unsure where, like, how much rain it was. It was such a weird spotty like storm at that point where you're like, yeah, maybe we can play through it, maybe we'll get through 5 innings. But in a playoff season, the series, you want to get through the whole game. You don't want to cheap out any team. Like, hey, like you had like during the regular season, you can, at the end of 5 innings, the game is considered official, no matter what. So yeah, so there's plenty of games that are canceled and not made up because they were finished the 5th inning, which would leave you 3 innings of possibly a team coming back and maybe having a better record than the other team. But you always will have the game be completed no matter what. There was even a couple, like, years ago, there was a game that was completed 2 days later, because they started it and then it just didn't really stop raining. It was really crappy weather during that whole time, so they had to basically 2 days. But you always have the ending of the game in a playoff series, especially a World Series where literally every single thing matters to see who the champion is of the season. Yeah, so that game definitely got canceled very early. Worked out for both teams. Yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be tonight, Wednesday, and tomorrow and Thursday, in Philadelphia. And of course, always, hopefully these games are good and exciting and fun rest of the series to watch. We also did have Monday Night Football last night, which I stand hugely corrected because I thought that the Bengals were gonna kind of come in and run over the Browns. Knowing that the Bengals kind of already had a solid QB, and like even though they didn't have Jamar Chase in there, who is basically Burrow's right-hand man, coming also from LSU, they know each other from there, winning the championship together at LSU. But yeah, that game actually did not really go exactly how I thought it would. The scoring took a little bit longer also than we kind of thought it would. It didn't even get scoring until probably about halfway through the second quarter. There was no points at all until then. It went like 3 points. It was like 3 points and then touchdown, and then the Browns basically just took complete control of the rest of the game. The Bengals didn't score until the 4th quarter. They had a field goal, then a touchdown, then a field goal. Which makes sense with 13. So yeah, the Bengals did win 32-13. Yeah, Nick Chubb and Jacoby Brissett basically kind of ran through everyone. See, Brissett goes 17 for 22 with 278 yards and a touchdown, and Nick Chubb had 2 touchdowns with 101 yards and 23 carries. Yeah, so again, I thought this game was going to kind of go sort of completely different. They also had Amari Cooper go for a pass, but he did not have that completed. It actually was intercepted. so that didn't really turn out too well. But I think that was towards the end of the game, if I remember. So Burrow didn't do horrible. He went 25 for 35, 232 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. Okay, never mind. He had 2 touch. I thought he only had 1, which that would kind of make more sense. But yeah, that's a video playing on my laptop. You heard that? That was just an ad playing. Kind of weirdly scared me. Yeah, Brissett's QB rating from last night was an 81. Meanwhile, Burrow's was a really bad rating of 17.6. Not a fun game for him. They are now their record, Bengals is now 4-4, 2-3 away, and Browns are still under 500 at 3-5 and 2-3 at home. Yeah, these standings are very weird. It's like the so you have some of the standings here are like, some teams are really good or they're really crappy on some of them, and then there's just some that are they're just so dead even almost. And then of course you have here like Tom Brady. You have the Packers with QB is Aaron Rodgers. Like, you have these teams coming out here with these basically quote unquote considered GOATs, because if you don't know, GOAT, greatest of all time, they basically ran through the league for the 20 something years that they've been in the league for, and now this year they're kind of just basically crashing. Granted, one of them, I don't want to get into too much detail about his affairs outside of the game, but he has been going through some family. Tom Brady's been going through some tough family life changes right now, which I'm sure has definitely some effect on him, because why would it not? You have outside, your family's unfortunately falling apart, but Rodgers is maybe taking more psychedelics right now and just kind of forgetting how to play and all that. But these teams are, again, the standings are a little weird. Some teams are ahead of others, and you couldn't really be like, hey, like, yeah, that would happen. Not really. Like, you have the Jets here, it's 5-3, and you wouldn't really think that they would be that great right now. And also the Giants are 6-2, which I'm beyond amazed and also very happy about. Yeah, so of course this is where the things are taking shape now. It's looking good for some teams and not looking good for others. But yeah, we're 8 games in now, 17 games, so we're just over half the season left. Yeah, so you got now baseball really until Thursday, which we will have Thursday Night Football, which is going to be let's see actually who is playing this coming week. I think it is week 9. Week 9. So we're gonna have on Thursday is Philadelphia at Houston. Kind of thinking maybe I might be wrong this time. Maybe we actually get maybe Philadelphia gets their first loss of the season against Houston, but probably not. Yeah, so maybe we get a big blowout game on Thursday. Yeah, so there's your some updates there. We got, again, hockey's going through, NBA's going. I don't know. I don't think we have any more teams that have no losses, because the Lakers actually won the other night against the Nuggets, which was kind of a slight surprise. Yeah, Orlando, and yeah, there's no more teams that have won 0 losses. Yeah, and hockey's going well. I think that everyone has a loss at this point for them. Let me just take a quick looky at that. And so yeah, yeah, everyone for the most part has wins at this point. Yeah, so got seasons going on, seasons ending, seasons in the middle, and again we have World Cup coming in about 2 weeks. Yeah, so always fun times in the sports world, and looking forward to commenting on more of it. Alright, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!